The Beggar's Crown. A werewolf romance story. Opening. Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance audiobooks, where desperate choices lead to unexpected destiny, and beggars might be so much more than they appear. Tonight, I have a story that will keep you guessing until the very end. A tale of a woman who thought she was choosing the lesser evil, a beggar who was hiding the biggest secret of all, and a forest where two souls learned to trust each other before the world could tear them apart. Imagine being trapped, promised to a cruel alpha you despise, watching the days count down to a ceremony that will seal your fate forever. Imagine planning your escape, your rebellion, your one chance at freedom. Now imagine that in your moment of desperation, you grab the nearest stranger, a beggar in rags, and kiss him to seal a false bond. Imagine thinking you've outsmarted everyone, only to discover that nothing, absolutely nothing, was what it seemed. So settle in close, my dreamers. This is a story about assumptions and revelations, about the time before truth changes everything, and about learning to love someone before you know who they really are. This is The Beggar's Crown. Prologue. 3 weeks before, I had 21 days until Alpha Marcus claimed me. 21 days until the mating ceremony, where I'd be bound to him forever. 21 days until I lost myself completely. I stood in my chamber, staring at the dress laid out on my bed. White silk, gold embroidery, beautiful and suffocating. "It's gorgeous," my cousin Petra said, touching the fabric reverently. "You're so lucky, Sage. Marcus Clearwater is the most powerful alpha in 3 territories." "Lucky," I repeated flatly. "You are. Most Omegas would kill to be chosen by him." "Then they can have him." "Sage!" Petra looked scandalized. "Don't say that. He'll hear you." "I don't care if he hears. I don't want this. Any of this." But my wants were irrelevant. My father, Beta of the Clearwater Pack, had arranged this mating months ago. A political alliance? A power move? My feelings didn't factor into the equation. I walked to the window, looking out over the pack grounds. Wolves moved about their business, training, working, living. Free, in ways I'd never be after the ceremony. "You'll grow to love him," Petra said, trying to be comforting. "They say that happens after the bond is complete. They also say Marcus is cruel, that his previous mates died under suspicious circumstances, that he sees Omegas as property. Those are just rumors." "Are they?" I turned to face her. "You've seen how he looks at me, like I'm a prize he's won, something to possess and display." Petra had no answer to that. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going through with the ceremony. I'd run, escape, become a rogue if I had to. 21 days. I had 21 days to plan. Chapter 1. The Preparation. Weeks 3 and 2. Day 18 before the ceremony. "Sage, you need to try on the dress again," my father called from downstairs. I ignored him, focused on the map spread across my desk. Routes out of Clearwater territory. Neighboring packs. Neutral zones where rogues could hide. "Sage! Coming!" I shoved the map under my mattress and went downstairs. The seamstress was waiting with the dress, pins in her mouth, ready to make adjustments. "Arms up," she commanded. I complied mechanically as she fitted the dress, pulling, pinning, marking changes. "You'll be the most beautiful Luna the Clearwater Pack has ever seen," she said. Luna. The word tasted like ash. Through the window, I saw Marcus arrive with his Beta. He was handsome in a brutal way, all sharp angles and cold eyes. Power radiated from him visibly. He saw me through the window, watching. His smile was predatory. I looked away. "The Alpha is here to discuss ceremony details," my father said, entering. "You should greet him properly." "I'm being fitted." "It can wait. Go greet your future mate." I went, still in the half-pinned dress, feeling ridiculous and exposed. Marcus met me in the entrance hall. His eyes swept over me possessively. "Beautiful," he said, "like a gift wrapped just for me." "Alpha Marcus." I kept my voice neutral. "So formal." "Soon you'll call me mate. Or maybe just master. I haven't decided which I prefer. His hand caught my chin, tilting my face up. You'll learn to please me, won't you? Everything in me wanted to pull away, but my father was watching. Of course, Alpha. Good girl. He released me, turning to my father. The ceremony details? They walked away, discussing me like property being transferred. I stood there in my half-pinned dress, shaking with suppressed rage. That night, I refined my escape plan. Day 15, before the ceremony. You need to learn the ceremony protocols, my father insisted. So I spent the day with the pack's ceremonial elder, learning the rituals I was supposed to perform. The Omega enters first, dressed in white to symbolize purity and submission. Submission? Of course. The Alpha follows, claiming her before the pack. The Omega must bow, accept his mark, speak the words of acceptance. I memorized it all, not to perform, but to know what I'd be disrupting when I ran. You seem distracted, the elder noted. Just nervous. That's natural. But Alpha Marcus is a good match. Strong. Powerful. Your children will be formidable. Children. Another thing I hadn't consented to. The ceremony concludes with the public marking. The Alpha bites here, she indicated my neck, and the bond is sealed, permanent, unbreakable. What if the Omega refuses? The elder looked shocked. Refuses? That's not... No Omega would refuse such an honor. But hypothetically, it would be seen as defiance, punishable. But it never happens, child. Why would it? I didn't answer. That afternoon, I snuck into the pack archives, researching everything I could about broken ceremonies, interrupted matings, Omega rites. I found nothing helpful. Once you entered the ceremony, you were bound. The only way out was to not enter at all, or to be claimed by someone else first. Day 12, before the ceremony. Marcus started visiting daily, asserting his claim before the ceremony even happened. You should wear your hair down, he'd say. I like it better that way. You should smile more. You're prettier when you smile. Don't argue with me. You'll need to break that habit. Each visit made me more desperate to escape, Petra noticed. You're acting strange. Distant. I'm just stressed about the ceremony. Most Omegas would be excited, not stressed. I'm not most Omegas. She studied me carefully. Sage, you're not thinking of doing something stupid, are you? Like what? Like running. Don't. Father would hunt you down. Marcus would make you regret it. I'm not running. The lie came easily, but that night I packed a small bag. Cash I'd saved, a change of clothes, essential supplies. I hid it in the back of my closet, ready to grab when the moment came. Day 10, before the ceremony. The ceremony invitations went out. Hundreds of wolves from across the territories would attend. It was a spectacle, a display of Marcus's power, and I was the centerpiece. Look at all these wolves coming to see you mated, my father said proudly, showing me the acceptance list. I looked at the names. Pack alphas, betas, warriors, nobles, all coming to witness my imprisonment. One name caught my eye. The Alpha King is coming? Of course. Marcus extending the invitation was politically brilliant. If the king attends, it legitimizes Marcus's authority even more. Have you ever seen him? The Alpha King? Once, from a distance. Young for a king. They say he's ruthless in negotiations, but fair in judgment. My father shrugged. Why do you ask? Just curious. But an idea was forming. If the Alpha King would be there, with his full security detail, causing chaos during the ceremony would be harder. I'd have to escape before the ceremony started, or disrupt it so thoroughly that no one could stop me. Day 7, before the ceremony. 1 week. I had 1 week. The dress was finished, delivered to my room in a beautiful box, wrapped like a gift. I stared at it with loathing. That night, I couldn't sleep. I went to my window, looking out at the pack grounds illuminated by moonlight. A figure moved in the shadows near the tree line. Someone walking the perimeter. I watched, curious. The figure was too thin to be a pack warrior, too ragged. A vagrant? A rogue? The figure looked up at my window, and for a moment I could have sworn they saw me. Then they disappeared into the darkness. I should have reported it. A stranger on pack grounds was a security risk. Instead, I went back to bed, thinking about escape routes and strangers in the night. Day 5 before the ceremony. Final dress rehearsal, my father announced. I went through the motions, walking the ceremonial path, practicing my bows, reciting the words I'd have to speak. I, Sage Whitmore, accept Marcus Clearwater as my alpha, my mate, my master, for all my days. The words stuck in my throat. Again, the ceremony coordinator insisted, with feeling this time. I, Sage Whitmore, accept... I couldn't finish, couldn't force the words out. Marcus, watching from the side, frowned. She'll get it right on the day. Won't you, Sage? It wasn't a question. It was a command. Yes, Alpha. But I was lying. I wouldn't be there on the day. I'd be gone. That night, I saw the figure again, the vagrant near the tree line, watching. This time, I opened my window. Who are you? The figure looked up. Even from a distance, I could see eyes that reflected moonlight like amber. We stared at each other for a long moment. Then he melted back into the forest. Strange, I whispered. Day 3 before the ceremony. 3 days, 72 hours. I was running out of time. Everything's ready, my father said at breakfast. The ceremony will be perfect. You'll be perfect. What if I'm not? I asked quietly. You will be. You're my daughter. You know your duty. Duty. Always duty. Never choice. Never freedom. Father, what if I don't want this? His expression hardened. Want is irrelevant. This mating is arranged, agreed upon. There's no backing out now. But, Sage, listen to me carefully. If you do anything to embarrass me, to disrupt this alliance, there will be consequences. Severe consequences. Do you understand? I understood. I just didn't care anymore. That night, I finalized my plan. I'd run the night before the ceremony. Head north into unclaimed territory. Become a rogue if necessary. Freedom was worth any price. I fell asleep with my escape bag hidden under my bed, ready to grab at a moment's notice. And I dreamed of amber eyes watching me from the forest. Chapter 2. The night before 36 hours before the ceremony. The house was chaos. Servants everywhere, preparing for the ceremony. Decorations being hung. Food being prepared. Everything had to be perfect for Marcus's big day. My day, supposedly. But I felt like a prop in someone else's celebration. Sage, come help me greet the early arrivals, my father commanded. Wolves were already arriving from distant territories. They'd stay in the pack house and neighboring homes, all gathered to witness the spectacle. I smiled. I bowed. I played the dutiful Omega bride. And I planned my escape. 24 hours before the ceremony that afternoon, I was summoned to Marcus's presence. He wanted to discuss expectations for our mating. You'll be my Luna, he said, circling me like prey. Which means you'll obey without question. Agree? Yes, Alpha. You'll bear my children, at least 3, preferably more. Strong alphas to carry on my bloodline. I said nothing. You'll sever all ties with unmated males. No conversations, no eye contact, no interactions. You're mine. Only mine. His possessiveness was suffocating. I've been patient with your willfulness, your small rebellions. But after tomorrow that ends. You'll learn your place quickly. His hand gripped my chin roughly. I break horses. I can break Omegas too. Something in me snapped. I'm not a horse to be broken. His eyes flashed dangerously. No, you're mine to break, and I will enjoy it. He released me, dismissing me like a servant. I left his presence shaking, not with fear, but with rage and determination. I was running tonight. No more waiting. 12 hours before the ceremony, dinner was a formal affair. All the early arriving guests, my family, Marcus and his inner circle. I sat at Marcus's right hand, exactly where I'd sit as his Luna. The conversation flowed around me. Politics, territory disputes, pack alliances. To Marcus and Sage, someone toasted, may their union be strong and their line be powerful. Everyone drank. Everyone celebrated. Everyone except me. I excused myself early, claiming nervousness about the ceremony. Understandable, Marcus said, his smile indulgent. Rest well. You'll need your strength for tomorrow night. The implication was clear. And disgusting. I went to my room, locked the door, and waited. 8 hours before the ceremony. At midnight, when the house finally quieted, I made my move. I changed into dark travel clothes, grabbed my hidden bag, moved silently to my window. The drop was 2 stories, but there was a trellis. I'd climbed it before as a child. I could do this. I would do this. I was halfway out the window when I heard voices below. Guards, making their rounds. I froze, waiting for them to pass. Big ceremony tomorrow? Yeah, Alpha Marcus is finally claiming his Omega. About time. She's pretty. Shame she looks so miserable. Omegas don't get to be miserable. They get to be grateful. They laughed and moved on. I waited another minute, then continued my descent. The trellis creaked ominously, but held. I reached the ground, pressed myself against the wall, listening. No alarm, no shouts. No one had noticed. I ran for the tree line, moving quickly through shadows. Behind me, the pack house blazed with light. Tomorrow they'd gather there, wait for me to appear. I'd be long gone by then. I reached the forest edge and plunged into darkness. Chapter 3. Into the Forest. Hours before the ceremony. 6 hours before the ceremony. The forest was darker than I'd anticipated. I'd been so focused on escaping that I hadn't considered what came after. I had vague directions north, some cash, and desperation. Not exactly a solid plan. I moved through the trees, trying to put distance between myself and the pack. Every snapping twig made me jump. Every rustle could be a pursuit. But no one came. Hours passed. My feet hurt. My bag grew heavy. Dawn was coming. Soon they'd discover I was gone. I needed to move faster. That's when I heard it. Water running. A stream. I followed the sound and found a small creek. I knelt to drink, cupping the cold water in my hands. Running away? I spun, nearly falling into the creek. A man stood at the tree line. Ragged clothes. Dirt-streaked face. But those eyes. Amber eyes that reflected moonlight. The vagrant I'd seen watching my window. Who are you? I demanded. Someone who's been watching a caged bird for 3 days, wondering if she'd fly. He moved closer, and I saw he was tall, lean. Despite the filthy clothes, he moved with surprising grace. Stay back. Relax. I'm not here to drag you back to your cage. How do you know about... Hard not to notice when an entire pack is preparing for a mating ceremony, and the bride looks like she'd rather die. I studied him warily. Are you with Marcus? Did he send you? Do I look like I work for anyone? He gestured to his ragged appearance. I'm just a vagrant, a nobody, passing through. Then why are you here? Curious, bored, take your pick. He sat on a fallen log, completely at ease. So what's the plan? Run north and hope no one finds you? Something like that. They'll hunt you. You know that, right? Pack law. Runaway Omegas are always brought back. Not if they can't find me. He smiled, sharp and knowing. You're very brave, or very foolish. Haven't decided which yet. Why do you care? Maybe I don't like seeing birds in cages. He stood. The pack will realize you're gone soon. When they do, they'll send trackers. You should move faster. I'm trying. Not fast enough, come on. He started walking deeper into the forest. Where are you going? Somewhere they won't look. You coming or staying here to be caught? I hesitated. Following a strange vagrant deeper into the woods wasn't smart, but neither was standing here waiting for Marcus's hunters. I followed, 4 hours before the ceremony. He led me through the forest with surprising confidence, like he knew these woods intimately. "How do you know where you're going?" I asked, struggling to keep up. "I've been camping out here for a few days. Learn the terrain?" "Why?" "Why not? Forest is free. No pack owns it. Good place for people who don't want to be found." We reached a small clearing with a makeshift shelter, branches and leaves arranged into a rough lean-to. "Home sweet home," he said sarcastically. It was barely shelter, but it was hidden, defensible. "They'll search the forest," I said. "Not this deep, not immediately. They'll check the borders first, neighboring packs, known rogue hideouts. By the time they think to search this far, we'll be gone." "We? You don't seriously think you can survive alone? You're Omega?" "No offense, but you're not exactly built for wilderness survival." "I can take care of myself. Can you hunt, track, defend yourself against rogues or wild animals, find safe water sources, treat injuries?" His amber eyes challenged me. "Or did you just run with no plan beyond anywhere but here?" I had no answer. He sighed. "Look, I'm not trying to be cruel, but reality is harsh. You need help. I'm offering it." "Why? What do you gain?" "Entertainment, companionship, a good story to tell later." He shrugged. "Does it matter? You need help. I'm providing it. Take it or leave it." I was exhausted, scared. And he was right. I had no survival skills. "Okay, but just until I figure out my next move." "Deal." He gestured to the shelter. "Get some rest. I'll keep watch. When the sun's fully up, we'll reassess." I crawled into the shelter, still suspicious but too tired to argue. As I drifted off, I heard him humming softly, a melody I didn't recognize but found oddly comforting. 2 hours before the ceremony, I woke to the sound of movement. The vagrant, I still didn't know his name, was building a small fire, carefully shielding it with stones so the smoke wouldn't be visible from a distance. "You know how to hide a fire?" I asked, surprised. "Picked up a few survival tricks over the years." He had 2 rabbits on a spit already roasting. "Hungry?" I was starving. "Where did you get those?" "Snares I set yesterday. We should eat and move. Your pack will be searching by now." He was right. The ceremony was supposed to start in 2 hours. They'd have discovered I was missing. "Thank you," I said, accepting the food he offered, "for helping me." "Don't thank me yet. We're not safe." We ate quickly, then broke camp. He scattered the fire, covered our tracks, left no obvious signs we'd been there. "You're good at this," I observed. "Practice." He shouldered his small pack. "We need to move west now. Put more distance between us and your pack." "I thought we were going north." "They'll expect north, so we go west first, then circle north later. Basic evasion." I followed him, impressed despite myself. This vagrant had more skills than he'd admitted to. The ceremony time, elsewhere. We were miles away when the ceremony time came. I imagined the scene. Guests assembled. Marcus waiting. My father frantically searching for me. The realization that I wasn't coming. The chaos that would follow. "Having second thoughts?" the vagrant asked, noting my expression. "No, just thinking about what's happening back there. Probably lots of angry people. Embarrassed alpha. Your father scrambling to save face." "Good." His laugh was surprised. "You really don't like this Marcus, do you?" "He's a monster. Controls his pack through fear. Sees Omegas as property. I'd rather die than mate with him. Hence running away to live in the forest with a stranger." "Hence that." I looked at him. "I don't even know your name." He hesitated, just for a moment. "Kai." "Kai, I'm Sage. I know. They announced you often enough while preparing for the ceremony." "Right." I felt stupid. Of course he knew who I was. "So, Sage the runaway Omega, what's your long-term plan?" Find a new pack, one that doesn't trade omegas like commodities, or become a rogue. Live independently. Noble goals, difficult execution. Do you have a better idea? Not really. I'm just a vagrant, remember? Not known for life advice. But there was something in his tone. Something that didn't quite match the simple vagrant story. Before I could question it, he froze. What? I whispered. Voices. Southeast. They're searching. I heard it too. Distant shouts. Wolves coordinating. They're organized, Kai muttered. Damn, Marcus must have sent a full hunting party. What do? We run, fast, and hope they don't have your scent yet. Chapter 4. The Hunt, the First Days. Day 1, afternoon. We ran for hours, constantly changing direction, crossing streams to hide our scent trail. Kai moved with surprising speed and endurance. I struggled to keep up, my Omega Wolf form smaller and weaker. Shift back, he commanded when I started lagging. You'll move faster on 2 legs with my help. I shifted to human form, gasping. He grabbed my hand, pulling me forward. Come on, they're gaining. I can't. You can. You're stronger than you think. Move. The authority in his voice made me push harder. We reached a rocky area where scent wouldn't cling. Kai pulled us into a small cave, hidden behind falling water from a cliff. Stay quiet, he breathed. We pressed against the cave wall as the hunting party passed nearby. Her scent was here. She must have crossed the stream, split up, cover both banks. They moved off in different directions. We waited in the cave for hours, barely breathing until darkness fell. We need to keep moving, Kai finally said. They won't give up easily. I know. Marcus doesn't like being defied. This isn't just about defiance. You embarrassed him in front of the Alpha King and hundreds of guests. He'll hunt you until he finds you just to save face. The Alpha King was there? I asked. According to the gossip I overheard, yes. He apparently left immediately when the ceremony was cancelled. Didn't want to be associated with the chaos. Something in Kai's voice when he mentioned the king made me curious, but I was too exhausted to pursue it. Where are we going? Neutral territory. 3 days west. If we can make it there, pack law won't protect Marcus. He can't force you back. 3 days? If we're lucky, and they don't catch us first. Day 1. Night. We traveled through the night, stopping only when my body refused to move further. Kai built another hidden fire, warming us in the chill. You should sleep, he said. I'll keep watch. You need to sleep too. I'll sleep after you do. Someone needs to stay alert. I wanted to argue but couldn't. I was too exhausted. As I drifted off, I felt him drape his ragged coat over me. It smelled like forest and something else, something almost familiar. Day 2, morning. I woke to Kai shaking my shoulder urgently. They're close. We need to move now. We ran again, always moving, never stopping long enough to be tracked. But they were good. Professional. Marcus's best hunters, probably. By midday, we could hear them clearly, getting closer. We can't outrun them, I gasped. No, but we can be smart. Kai pulled us toward a thick thorn bush. In there. Are you insane? Those thorns will hide us. Come on, endure the pain. We crawled into the thick brambles, thorns tearing at skin and clothes, but the dense vegetation hid us completely. The hunters passed within feet of our hiding spot. The trail ends here. She can't just vanish. Unless she had help. Someone who knows evasion. A rogue? Or worse. We need to report back. Alpha Marcus won't like this. They left, but we stayed hidden for another hour, making sure they were really gone. When we finally crawled out, we were bloody and scratched. That was awful, I said, picking thorns from my arms. That was survival. Kai was removing thorns from his own skin, wincing. Welcome to life on the run. Day 2, afternoon. We found a stream and cleaned our wounds. Some were deep, needing attention. Let me see, Kai said, examining my arms. His touch was surprisingly gentle as he cleaned the cuts and wrapped them with strips torn from his already ragged shirt. You're good at this, I noted. Told you. Survival skills. Where did you learn them? You're not just a vagrant, are you? His hands stilled. What makes you say that? The way you move. The way you know exactly how to evade trained hunters. The way you give commands like someone used to being obeyed. I met his eyes. Who are you, really? Just someone trying to help a runaway Omega? That's not an answer. It's the only one I'm giving right now. He finished bandaging my arms. Your turn. Why did you really run? Just because Marcus is controlling? There are lots of controlling alphas. What made you choose exile over a powerful mating? I was quiet for a moment. Then, because I watched my mother live that life, mated to a powerful beta who saw her as a beautiful object. She was miserable, trapped. By the time I was born, she was a shell of who she'd been. And when I was 10, I stopped, unable to finish. She what? Kai's voice was gentle. She walked into the forest and never came back. They said it was an accident, a rogue attack. But I think, my voice broke. I think she chose to disappear rather than spend one more day in her cage. Kai was quiet. Then he touched my hand softly. I'm sorry. So when my father arranged my mating to Marcus, I knew. I knew I'd end up just like her. And I couldn't. I wouldn't. So you ran. So I ran. I looked at him. Even if it means living in thorny bushes and eating rabbits for the rest of my life. His smile was sad and understanding. There are worse lives. Day 2, night. That night, as we huddled together for warmth, the forest was cold, and we dared not build a fire. Kai told me a story. There was once a young alpha, he began. Born to rule, raised in luxury, everything handed to him. Is this a fairy tale? Shh, listen. His voice in the darkness was oddly compelling. This young alpha had everything except freedom. Every decision was made for him. Every relationship calculated. Every moment controlled. Sounds familiar, I murmured. One day he walked away from it all. Put on ragged clothes. Became a nobody. Just to see what it felt like to be free. What happened to him? He's still figuring that out. Kai's arm tightened around me slightly. But he met someone interesting. Someone who also chose freedom over comfort. And he's wondering if maybe they're not so different. I wanted to ask if he was talking about himself, but exhaustion claimed me before I could form the words. Chapter 5. The Bonding. Days 3 and 4. Day 3, morning. We were one day from neutral territory, one day from relative safety, but we were also exhausted, filthy, and running low on supplies. We need food, Kai said, examining our empty pack. I can look for berries. You need protein. I'll hunt. You rest here. Stay hidden. What if the hunters come? They won't. We're too far west now. They've given up. Are you sure? No, but I need to hunt, and you need to rest. We'll risk it. He left me in a well-hidden hollow, taking his makeshift weapons. I sat alone for the first time in 3 days, finally able to think. I'd done it. Actually escaped. Against all odds, I was free, and I had help from the most unexpected source, a vagrant who knew too much and said too little. Who was Kai, really? Day 3, afternoon. Kai returned with a small deer. Where did you get that? I stared. Hunting, like I said. Vagrant usually don't hunt deer successfully. They usually scrounge. Well, this vagrant is full of surprises. He began field dressing the animal with practiced ease. We'll eat well tonight. Need our strength for tomorrow's push. I helped him as best I could, and we cooked meat over a carefully hidden fire. The food was incredible after days of sparse rations. This is the best meal I've had in days, I said. This is the only meal you've had in days. Still counts. We laughed, and something shifted between us. The desperate urgency of the run was fading, replaced by something else. Companionship. Trust. "Tell me something real about yourself," I said suddenly. "What do you want to know?" "Anything. Everything. Who you are beneath the vagrant act." "What makes you think it's an act?" "Everything about you. The way you move. The way you think. The way you hunted that deer like you've done it 100 times. I met his eyes. "You're not what you seem." He was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Neither are you." "What do you mean?" "You present yourself as a trapped Omega. Powerless. Controlled. But you're not. You planned an escape. Executed it. Survived days on the run. Endured pain without complaint." His eyes were intense. "You're stronger than you realize, Sage. Or maybe desperation makes us all stronger than we think we are. Maybe." He looked away. "But I see you. Really see you. And you're remarkable." The way he said it made my breath catch. "Kai, who are you?" "Someone who needed to meet you. Even if neither of us knew it yet." Day 3. That night, something changed between us. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was proximity. Maybe it was the bond that forms between people who survive impossible things together. But when Kai pulled me close for warmth, it felt like more than survival. "Tomorrow we reach neutral territory," he said softly. "Then what?" "Then you decide where you want to go, what you want to do. You'll be free to choose." "What about you? What will you do?" Silence. Then, "I don't know yet." "Will you stay? With me?" "Do you want me to?" I realized I did, desperately. This vagrant who'd helped me escape, who'd protected me, who'd seen me at my worst and still called me remarkable. "Yes," I whispered. His arms tightened. "Then I'll stay, for as long as you want me." We fell asleep like that, holding each other, and I felt safer than I had in years. Day 4. Morning. We woke to disaster. Kai was gone. In his place was a note. "Sage. Had to take care of something. Stay hidden. I'll be back by noon. Don't leave this spot." "'Kay." I waited. Noon came and went. No Kai. By mid-afternoon I was panicking. Had he abandoned me? Had something happened? Then I heard voices. Marcus's hunters. Somehow they'd found me. I ran, grabbing our supplies, moving as quietly as I could. But they had my scent now. They were closing in. I reached a cliff edge. Trapped. "There she is!" They surrounded me, 6 of Marcus's best warriors. "Alpha Marcus will be pleased," one said. "The runaway Omega, captured at last." "I'm not going back." "You don't have a choice." The lead warrior stepped forward, reaching for me. That's when Kai appeared, but he wasn't the ragged vagrant anymore. He was clean, dressed in formal black, moving with absolute authority. And there were wolves with him, royal guards, from their uniforms. "Step away from her," Kai commanded. The warriors recognized the authority in his voice. They hesitated. "Who are you?" the lead warrior demanded. "Someone you really don't want to anger. Final warning. Step away." They didn't. One grabbed my arm roughly. Kai moved faster than I'd seen him move before. One moment he was 10 feet away. The next he had the warrior on the ground, an arm twisted at a painful angle. I said, "Step away from her." "She's Marcus's Omega." "She's under my protection now. Touch her again and lose the hand that does it." The royal guards moved forward, a clear threat. Marcus's warriors backed off, recognizing they were outmatched. After they fled, I turned to Kai, except he wasn't just Kai anymore. "Who are you?" I whispered. "Really?" He met my eyes, and I saw the truth there before he spoke. "My name is Caspian Caney. I'm the Alpha King." Everything I thought I knew shattered in that moment. Chapter 6. The Revelation. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. You've been... Words failed me. "I know, I lied, I'm sorry." "You're the Alpha King." My voice rose. "The entire time you were the Alpha King?" Yes. The king who was supposed to be at my mating ceremony? I was there. I saw you through the window, looking like you'd rather die than go through with it, and I... He stopped. I left, walked away from the ceremony, changed into these clothes, became nobody. Why? Because I needed to see if you'd really run. If you were brave enough. If you were... He shook his head. It doesn't matter now. It matters to me. I was shaking. You let me believe you were a vagrant. You let me trust you based on a lie. I didn't lie about anything important. Everything was a lie. Your name, your identity, your entire existence. My feelings weren't a lie. His voice was quiet. The way I see you, the respect I have for your courage, He stopped. The what? Nothing, forget it. No, say it. The fact that I'm falling for you. The admission burst out of him. There, happy? I'm the Alpha King, falling for a runaway Omega who was supposed to mate someone else. It's ridiculous, inappropriate, impossible. But it's true. I stared at him, completely at a loss. I came to your ceremony because Marcus invited me. It was political, expected. I was going to attend, smile, leave. Then I saw you through the window, and you looked... His voice softened. You looked like a bird in a cage, and I couldn't watch you be imprisoned. So you what? Decided to test me? See if I'd actually run? I decided to give you a choice. Real freedom. If you ran, I'd make sure you made it to safety. If you didn't, he shrugged, then you'd have chosen your cage. And the vagrant act? I needed you to trust me for who I was, not what I was. If you'd known I was the king, everything would have been different. You might have run to me for protection, seen me as an escape route instead of what? Instead of seeing me. His eyes held mine. For 4 days you've seen Kai. Not the king, not the crown. Just me. And I needed that. Needed someone who saw past everything else. I didn't know what to say. He'd lied, yes, but he'd also saved me, protected me, cared for me. I don't know if I can trust you, I said finally. I know, and I don't blame you. He stepped back. But Sage, those hunters will report back to Marcus. He'll know I intervened. This is going to get complicated. More complicated than it already is. Much more complicated. He looked at me seriously. Marcus will claim I stole his intended mate. He'll demand your return, or challenge me for you. Challenge the Alpha King? Old laws allow it. If an Alpha believes another stole his intended mate, he can issue a formal challenge. His jaw clenched. Marcus is arrogant enough to try it. So what do we do? We. His eyebrows rose. I'm not going back to him. Ever. So yes, we. I crossed my arms. You said you'd protect me. Were you lying about that too? No, that was real. His expression softened. Everything I said about you was real. The lies were only about me. That's still a lot of lies. I know, and I'll spend as long as it takes earning your trust back. He moved closer. But right now, we need to get to the royal territory. You'll be safe there, protected by crown law. And then we figure out what comes next, together, if you'll give me that chance. I should have said no, should have run from him too. But looking at him, at Caspian, not Kai, not the king, just the man who'd helped me escape, I found myself nodding. One chance, but if you lie to me again. I won't, I swear it. No more lies, no more pretending. Just truth from now on. Good, because I've had enough of being lied to for a lifetime. He smiled slightly. Deal. Chapter 7. The journey home the first day. As Truth, traveling with Caspian, who used to be Kai, was different. He was still the same person in many ways, kind, protective, attentive. But now there was an added layer. Authority, power, presence. The royal guards traveled with us now, no longer hidden. They treated me with respect but distance, unsure of my status. "They don't know what to make of me," I said to Caspian as we rode in the carriage he'd summoned. "They don't know what to make of any of this. Their king disappeared for days to help a runaway Omega escape a forced mating. It's unprecedented." "Regret it?" "Not for a second." His hand found mine. "Though I will have to explain it to my council. That should be entertaining." "What will you tell them?" "The truth. That I met someone remarkable who needed help. And that I couldn't stand by and watch her be imprisoned. They'll think you're insane." "They already think that. I left my own kingdom to become a vagrant. Sanity isn't really my strong suit." I laughed despite myself. "Why did you really do it? The vagrant thing?" I was suffocating. Every moment scheduled. Every word monitored. Every decision made by committee. I needed to remember what freedom felt like. He looked at me. "And then I met you, and I remembered something else." "What?" "What it feels like to be seen. Really seen. Not as a king or a crown or a political tool. Just as a person. I saw Kai, not you. Kai is me, just without the crown. Everything else was real." "The survival skills?" "Real. I trained with the royal forces. Learned everything." "The hunting?" "Real. Learned from the pack's best hunters." "The story about the alpha who walked away from his life?" "Very real. That was me." I processed this. "So the lies were only about your identity. Everything else, everything you said, everything you did, that was real? Completely real." His eyes were intense, including the part where I said I was falling for you. My breath caught. "Caspian, I know it's complicated. You're running from one forced mating. The last thing you need is another alpha pursuing you, so I won't push. I just needed you to know." "Why?" "Because you deserve truth. All of it. Even the messy parts." The second day, complications. We were one day from the royal capital when the messenger arrived. "Your Majesty." The rider bowed from horseback. "Urgent news. Alpha Marcus has issued a formal challenge." Caspian's expression hardened. "On what grounds?" "Theft of his intended mate. He's demanding either her return or trial by combat to settle the matter." "Of course he is." Caspian dismissed the messenger. "We expected this." "Trial by combat?" I asked. "He wants to fight you?" "It's his legal right under the old laws. If he can prove I stole his intended mate, he can challenge for your return." "But you didn't steal me." "I ran." "He'll claim I manipulated you, seduced you, used my authority to steal you away." Caspian's jaw clenched. "It's weak, but technically valid." "So what happens?" "There'll be a hearing. Both sides present evidence. If the council determines the challenge is valid, we'll fight. Winner takes." He stopped. "Winner takes me," I finished. "Like I'm property to be won." "I won't let it come to that." "But if it does? If you have to fight him? Then I'll fight him, and I'll win." His confidence was absolute, but I'd seen Marcus fight. He was brutal, vicious, experienced. "Caspian, he's dangerous." "So am I." His eyes flashed gold. "I'm the Alpha King, Sage. I didn't earn that title by losing fights." The third day, arrival. The royal capital was magnificent. Towering buildings, elegant architecture. Wolves everywhere, all stopping to bow as our carriage passed. "This is your home?" I asked, overwhelmed. "This is my responsibility," he corrected. "Home is..." He paused. "Home is wherever I feel like myself, which lately has been a forest camp with a runaway Omega." I smiled despite my nerves. The palace was even more impressive. Servants rushed to greet us. Advisors demanded Caspian's attention. Everyone wanted something. "Take Sage to the guest chambers," Caspian commanded. "She's under my personal protection. Anyone who treats her with less than full respect answers to me." The servants bowed, leading me away. "Wait," I called back. "What about the challenge?" "I'll handle it. Trust me." Those words. Trust me. After days of lies, could I? The preparation. The guest chambers were obscene, bigger than my entire house at Clearwater. A team of servants helped me bathe, dress, make myself presentable. "You're the one the king brought back," one whispered. "The runaway Omega." Is that what they're calling me? Some are calling you other things, less kind things, but the king has ordered respect. "What do you call me?" "Brave," the servant said simply. "You ran from a powerful alpha. That takes courage." After they left, I stood on the balcony, looking over the Capitol. Somewhere out there, Marcus was preparing his challenge. And somewhere in this palace, Caspian was fighting for me. But did I want to be fought over? Wasn't that just another form of control? A knock at my door interrupted my thoughts. "Come in." Caspian entered, and my breath caught. He was in formal attire now, all black with the royal crest. He looked every inch the king. "You look different," I said. "So do you." His eyes swept over me in the formal dress the servants had provided. Beautiful. Strange. A few days ago I was covered in thorn scratches and dirt. You were beautiful then, too. He moved to stand beside me on the balcony. "The council wants to meet you." "Already?" "The challenge hearing is tomorrow. They need to assess the situation." He looked at me seriously. "They're going to ask difficult questions. About why you ran. About what happened in the forest. About my role in your escape." "What do you want me to say?" "The truth. All of it." His hand found mine. "I'm done with lies, Sage. Whatever happens, we face it honestly. Even if the truth complicates things. Especially then." Chapter 8. The hearing, the council chamber. The council chamber was intimidating. 10 elders seated in a semicircle, all watching me with assessing eyes. Caspian sat at the head, looking every inch the Alpha King, but his eyes found mine across the room, offering silent support. Marcus stood opposite, flanked by his lawyers. He looked furious and humiliated. "This hearing will determine the validity of Alpha Marcus's challenge," the head counselor announced. "Alpha Marcus, present your case." Marcus stepped forward. "I had a arranged mating with Sage Whitmore, properly announced and agreed upon by her father, the beta of Clearwater Pack. The ceremony was scheduled, invitations sent, hundreds of witnesses gathered. The mating was legitimate and binding under pack law. Yet the ceremony never occurred," the counselor noted. "Because she ran." Marcus pointed at me, "Fled the night before the ceremony. And I believe she was helped, encouraged, by His Majesty, the Alpha King." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "King Caspian," the counselor said, "did you assist in Sage Whitmore's escape?" Caspian stood. "I did." More murmurs. Marcus smiled, thinking he'd won. "However," Caspian continued, "I did not manipulate her or coerce her. I simply ensured she reached safety after she'd already chosen to run. You admit you interfered with a legitimate mating. I admit I helped a woman who was being forced into a bond she didn't want. There's a difference." The counselor turned to me. "Sage Whitmore, is this true? Were you being forced?" I stood on shaking legs. "Yes. I didn't want the mating. My father arranged it without my consent. Alpha Marcus..." I met his eyes. "Alpha Marcus made it clear I'd have no autonomy as his mate, that I'd be his property. I wouldn't accept that." "Omegas don't get to refuse legitimate matings," Marcus snarled. "Actually, they do," Caspian said coldly. "Wolf law is clear. All matings require consent from both parties. Arrangement is not consent. Her father gave consent. Her father is not her. She's Omega, not property. She gets to choose." The council conferred in whispers. Finally, "Alpha Marcus, do you have evidence that Sage Whitmore consented to this mating?" "Her father... evidence from her." not her father. Marcus had nothing. Then the challenge is denied, the head counselor declared. Sage Whitmore clearly did not consent. The mating was invalid from the start. She had every right to refuse it. Marcus's face went purple with rage. She embarrassed me in front of hundreds of wolves. She owes me. She owes you nothing. Caspian's voice cut like a blade. You tried to force a mating. You failed. Accept it and move on. I invoke the right of personal challenge, Marcus roared. I challenge you directly, King Caspian. Not for theft. For her. I want her. If I win, she's mine. The room went silent. You're challenging me? Caspian's voice was deadly quiet. The Alpha King. For an Omega who has made it crystal clear she wants nothing to do with you. I'm challenging you for what's mine. She was never yours. Then prove it. Fight me. Winner takes the girl. I wanted to scream, to tell them both I wasn't a prize to be won, that this was exactly the imprisonment I'd been running from. But Caspian spoke first. Fine, I accept your challenge, but not for ownership of Sage, for the right to court her, to give her the choice you never did. His eyes blazed gold. When I win, and I will win, she decides. Not you. Not me. Her. Marcus smiled viciously. When I win, she'll have no choice at all. The fight was set for tomorrow at dawn. Chapter 9. The night before evening, I couldn't eat dinner. Couldn't stop pacing. Couldn't stop thinking about the fight. He's going to kill him, I said when Caspian came to check on me. He's going to try. Caspian's voice was calm. And if he succeeds, he won't. You can't know that. Sage. He caught my hands, stopping my pacing. Look at me. I did. His eyes were steady, confident. I've been training since I was 5 years old. I'm Alpha King because I earned it, not because I inherited it. I've fought challengers before. Marcus is good, but he's not good enough. His thumb brushed my knuckles. I'm not going to lose you. You don't have me to lose. We barely know each other. Just 4 days in a forest. 4 days that felt like a lifetime. 4 days where I got to know the real you. The brave, stubborn, incredible woman who chose freedom over comfort. His voice softened. You have me, Sage. Completely. Whether you want me or not. This is crazy. You're the Alpha King. I'm a runaway Omega. This doesn't make sense. Since when does love make sense? I stared. Love? Yes. Love. I'm in love with you, Sage. I have been since I watched you run through that forest covered in thorn scratches and refusing to give up. Since you trusted a vagrant enough to follow him into the wilderness. Since you showed me what real courage looks like. You said you were falling for me. Not that you loved me. I was trying not to scare you. But we're past that now. He pulled me closer. I love you. And tomorrow I'm fighting for the chance to court you properly. To show you that not all alphas are like Marcus. That love doesn't have to mean imprisonment. And if I don't love you back, then I'll accept that. But I need you to know, whatever you decide, you're free. No obligations, no pressure, no force. Just choice. Real choice. I didn't know what to say. Everything was happening too fast. I need time, I whispered. To think. To process. To figure out what I actually want. You'll have it. All the time you need. He kissed my forehead gently. Get some rest. Tomorrow will be intense. He left, and I stood alone with thoughts that wouldn't quiet. Did I love him? Could I trust him? Was this freedom or just another cage? I didn't know. But I did know one thing. I didn't want Marcus to win. Chapter 10. The Challenge Dawn. The fight took place in the ceremonial ring, a massive circle where pack challenges had been decided for generations. Thousands of wolves gathered to watch. This wasn't just a fight. It was a spectacle. I sat in the royal box, sick with anxiety. Marcus entered first, already in wolf form. Massive, gray-furred, battle-scarred. Caspian entered opposite, shifting smoothly into his silver wolf. Larger than Marcus, more graceful, but younger, less experienced. "This is trial by combat," the referee announced. "First blood ends the fight. Winner takes the right to court Sage Whitmore. Loser accepts the outcome and relinquishes all claim." The wolves circled each other, sizing each other up. Then Marcus attacked. It was brutal from the start. Marcus fought dirty, going for vulnerable spots, using his weight, his experience. Caspian was faster, more strategic. He dodged more than he struck, wearing Marcus down. But Marcus was relentless. When his jaws closed on Caspian's leg, I stood up, terrified. Caspian twisted, breaking free, but blood was flowing. First blood. Marcus had won. No, please no. But Caspian wasn't stopping. He lunged faster than I'd seen him move. His jaws found Marcus's throat. Not biting, just holding. A submission hold. Marcus struggled, but Caspian's grip was iron. Finally, Marcus went still, admitting defeat. Caspian released him, shifted back to human form, blood dripping from his leg wound. "First blood was mine," Marcus snarled. "I won." "First blood ends a regular challenge," the referee said. "But this was trial by combat for courting rights. That requires submission, or incapacitation. King Caspian forced submission. He wins." Marcus roared in fury, but the ruling was final. Caspian limped toward me, his leg already healing, but still wounded. "You're hurt," I said, reaching for him. "I'm fine. I won." His eyes searched mine. "You're free, Sage. Marcus has no claim. You can choose whatever you want." "What if I choose you?" His breath caught. "Do you?" "I don't know yet, but I want to find out." I touched his face gently. "Court me. Show me that not all alphas are monsters. That love doesn't have to be a cage." "I will. I swear it." He pulled me close, not caring about the thousands of watching wolves. "Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for fighting for one." Chapter 11. The Courtship. 1 month later, Caspian kept his word. He courted me slowly, patiently, without pressure. We took walks in the palace gardens, had long conversations about everything and nothing. He showed me his world, the council meetings, the territory inspections, the responsibilities of kingship. And I showed him mine, the reality of Omega life, the constant devaluation, the lack of choice that plagued so many. "We need to change the laws," he said one evening. "Make consent mandatory for all matings. Give Omegas real protection. The traditional alphas will fight you. Let them. You're right. The current system is broken." His hand found mine. "Help me fix it?" "How?" "Be my Luna. Not just my mate. My partner. Someone who understands what needs changing because she lived it. Caspian, I'm not... You're perfect. You're brave and smart, and you see what others miss. And you're not afraid to tell me when I'm wrong. That's a requirement for Luna? For my Luna, yes." He smiled. "I don't want someone who agrees with everything I say. I want someone who challenges me, who makes me better. I'll think about it." 2 months later, the more time I spent with Caspian, the more I understood him, the burdens he carried, the loneliness of leadership, the constant balance between duty and desire. "Do you regret it?" I asked one night, "becoming king so young?" "Sometimes. I was 23 when my father died, barely prepared. I had to learn everything fast." He looked at me. "But if I hadn't been king, I wouldn't have been at your ceremony, wouldn't have seen you, wouldn't have met you." "So, you're grateful for the tragedy?" "I'm grateful for the path that led to you, even if the path was hard." We'd grown closer. The bond between us was undeniable now. Not forced, not political, just real. "I think I'm ready," I said. "Ready for what?" "To complete the mate bond. To be your Luna. To choose you. Fully. Completely. His joy was immediate. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. You're not Marcus. You're not my father. You're Caspian. The king who dressed as a vagrant to help me escape. The man who gave me freedom when you could have demanded control. I touched his face. I choose you. I love you. I love you too. So much. He kissed me, and it felt like coming home. Epilogue. 3 years later. The coronation as Luna Queen was smaller than my would-have-been mating to Marcus. More intimate. More meaningful. I stood before the council, Caspian beside me, and spoke the words I'd once refused. I, Sage Whitmore, choose Caspian Caney as my mate, my partner, my king. I accept the responsibility of Luna, not as submission, but as partnership. Not as property, but as equal. The modified vows were my idea. Caspian had agreed immediately. I, Caspian Caney, choose Sage Whitmore as my mate, my partner, my queen. I pledge to honor her voice, respect her choices, and rule beside her as equals. We marked each other, completing the bond fully. The crowd cheered. Not because an Omega had been claimed, but because two equals had chosen each other. Later, we stood on the palace balcony, looking over the capital. Our capital now. Did you ever imagine this? I asked. When you were a vagrant in the forest? I imagined you'd say yes. The rest, he smiled, was a pleasant surprise. I still can't believe you pretended to be a beggar. Best decision I ever made. Got to know you as Kai, not as the king. Got to earn your trust instead of demanding it. And now? Now I have everything. My queen, my mate, my partner in changing the world. He pulled me close. Thank you for running away from that ceremony. Thank you for helping me escape it. Thank you for kissing the beggar instead of waiting for the king. I laughed. You're never gonna let me live that down, are you? Never. It's my favorite story. Below us, wolves celebrated. The Luna Queen who'd been brave enough to run. The king who'd been wise enough to follow. I'd kissed a beggar to avoid being claimed. And discovered he was the Alpha King. But more than that, I'd discovered he was exactly who I needed. Not because of his crown, but despite it. Sometimes the best loves start with desperate choices and hidden truths. Ours certainly did. And I wouldn't change a single moment. Closing, and there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The complete story of Sage and Caspian, proof that desperate choices can lead to perfect love. Beggars might be kings, and sometimes you have to run away to find home. Did this story surprise you? Did you feel the weight of Sage's choice? Did you believe in Caspian's deception and devotion? Then show me some love. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment in their forest journey, and subscribe to Luna's romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of hidden identities and unexpected love. I want to know, would you have kissed the beggar? Would you have trusted Kai before knowing he was the king? Would you have forgiven the lies? Tell me in the comments. And speaking of hidden identities, our next story is going to absolutely captivate you. It's called The Mute Warrior's Secret, and it follows a she-wolf who joins the king's army disguised as a mute male warrior, the only way Omegas can fight. For 3 years, she's kept her secret, fighting alongside the Alpha King himself. But when she's wounded in battle and her secret is revealed, she'll discover that the king has known all along. And the reason why will change everything. Until next time, my dreamers, may your desperate choices lead to perfect love, your beggars be kings in disguise, and your escapes lead you exactly where you need to be. This is Luna, signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.